6:30.
It's 6:30.
We got a full
We're
house.
gonna call a meeting to order. We will start with the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Hogall, do we have any additions or changes to agenda items?
It wasn't technically an agenda item, but I did put out there in the public, we had posted for our bonds to have an additional appropriation hearing for the 12.5 million. And
Right.
since our bond counsel told us, since we're not taking those bonds out this year, we don't have to do that.
Right.
So it was posted in the paper that we were gonna do it, but we're not doing it because we're not taking those bonds out this year.
Okay.
So I just make sure the public understood that was a change, maybe from what they saw posted in the newspaper.
Okay, sounds good. Any public comments back there? Okay. And superintendent report. Mr. Hogall.
So Mr. Hoball's trying to get this up and running. I have Dr. Mitchell in to present on special education student services tonight. And I just gotta get everything fired up here.
Dr. Mitchell, when I step out and leave, my daughter has a band concert. I'm not leaving. I'm really upset.
She's
that
just-
She is leaving.
Yeah, she's leaving.
Yeah, I'm leaving.
Storming out. Storming out.
Storming out and can't hear your presentation.
Out of here.
Okay, well, hopefully you'll enjoy it more than that. You won't leave me for that reason.
I'm sure I will. I know I will.
I'm working on it.
That's okay. Well, it's a small crowd anyway,
is.
so
It is.
I could just go ahead and start telling you some of what's on there.
We're online, there's a lot of people on
Oh, is there? How many viewers do we have?
there. I have no idea.
How many viewers do we
But they're
have, do you
available.
know?
528.
Wow.
We're really popular.
Gosh, I better, okay.
That's a
let me
big
get myself
following.
looking good over here.
No, I
Oh,
did,
I
and I
meant to
tried to
tell
have
you
bangs
that.
too, but yours are way cuter. I was thinking that. I really like yours.
Did your kid do it? Because she also gave Colby bangs. Oh, Lori, that's just Nikki's aunt, different side of the family.
sorry.
Yeah. But no, Jamie Sharp did it. Yeah, she did.
Okay.
She
I
would have done
like it.
I like it. Thank
Cute.
Tell me
Come
that.
in close.
Brad,
Okay.
waiting.
It looks great.
Thank you very much.
You're not even looking. I get that at home.
Yeah.
You're not even looking at, you didn't even look.
You gotta at least try to look, Brad.
It looks great.
Did you get a haircut, Brad?
Yeah, I did.
It looks great,
I
Brad.
got it trimmed up on top.
And I love the glasses on your face and the glasses on your head.
Like that?
It's a great look.
I gotta have both of them.
I ain't judging.
I'll lose one or the other.
I'm not judging. I love it.
I'm not getting those $400 glasses. I got these
Nope, you don't need
$1.98
them.
glasses.
Yep, you don't need them. You have that.
Right.
I can't help you there.
LASIK?
Yeah, why don't you do that?
No.
No.
It is, but I can't get to the slideshow because the
Oh, that's
tile
right.
on this thing is blocking it.
Can you drag the tile, like with those 6 dots on the left?
Oh, thank you. You can?
If you click hide, I'm sure it's on. I'm sure it's on.
Thank you. Okay, there's slideshow.
Here we go.
Okay.
Hey,
Awesome.
well, thanks for giving me some time just to share some celebrations with you from the Special Education Department tonight. Will you go to the next slide? Next slide's a lot more fun. So this slide, originally I started with having a celebration that you can kind of see in the background, which is a snapshot from IDOE and the compliance reporting. Because as you know, there are a lot of compliance indicators that we have to monitor throughout the year. There are 18 for special education. So I wanted to celebrate that our district has been at the level of meets requirements for the past year, which means, so there's level 1, 2, and 3 with the state for special education. And level 1 means that we meet requirements for all those indicators, and that means that they don't have any concerns of things that we necessarily need to be doing differently. with our special education practices. So that's a huge celebration because what that really means is all those kiddos that you're going to get to see tonight on the screen are getting what they need from us, right? And so there are a couple kids that I'll show you just throughout the presentation. I have some different pictures on there. And for their privacy, I'm just going to speak generally, but I want you to know some of their stories and students that will be highlighted on these next couple of slides. So we have, for example, in this presentation, a student who has been working tirelessly with a behavior support team. She has outside services, and we just had a case conference yesterday for her in which she's been celebrated as having positive behavior. She was selected as the Character Education Award winner for her class this week, and her parents were just so joyful. They were in tears because every conference they've had has been negative up until now because of her behavior, right? And so to see her grow is huge, but I think the really important piece about that is that she started as a very young kid advocating for herself and what she needed and sharing that she wants to spend time in her typical class, but that she also needs more support in learning because she's been struggling with really understanding the concepts. And based on her advocacy, the team really changed her schedule, and she's doing more of a split day now than she's done in the past. And hence her behavior, went through the roof, right?
Yes.
And she's very young, and so I just want to give kudos to the team, to her educators that are around her,
Yes.
really listening to her and what she needed.
And mom and dad for teaching her that advocacy at home too.
Absolutely,
Makes
yeah.
a difference.
Yeah. We have a student that I want to celebrate that has been receiving services in the home because of behavior for about the past year and a half. A couple of months ago, that student was only able to attend to a task for about 3 minutes, sometimes less than that. And we just celebrated this month's progress report that he's able to attend a task for almost 20 minutes now, 19 minutes on average.
Huge one.
So
Yes.
huge.
Yeah.
Really intentional work with the team. So some really good stories I just wanted to share with you. But Mr. Hoboff, you'll go to the next slide. I'll share just an overview of services that we have going on in the district. So you can see each of the buildings there. That number there is the number of students with IEPs in that building at this time. On the first line for Pittsboro Primary, I also said that DPK, the developmental preschool, has 20 students right now. So 20 of those 62 are developmental preschool students. Continuing to have evaluations throughout the year, so that number will grow a little bit, but right now they're about 20 and will be 20 through about Christmas time. And then we have, you can see pretty similar numbers at Pittsboro Elementary, North Salem in the 40s, 66 at the middle school, 74 at the high school. And then I always want to make sure we don't lose sight of some of our other students receiving some really creative plans and programming. So we have about 3 students who are receiving services at a variety of different places, such as Daymar, St. Joseph's Institute for Speech and Language, and then homebound services.
Quick question, sorry.
Yeah.
Dr. Mitchell. What is pre-ETS for your high school?
By the high school, pre-ET, so that's pre-employment services, so working on some job
Okay.
training.
Oh, nice. So where do they go and what do they do? Like, what are some examples of that?
Can I show you that on the next
Oh,
slide?
sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Nice segue.
I love it, but if you don't mind, I do have some pictures.
Sorry.
No, that's great. I put ABA collaboration on there under the other also, just because I wanted to highlight one of the students in this presentation really is transitioning to us from an ABA center. They anticipated that he would just come for an hour or two. There was so much work done by the teacher this summer going to the ABA center to get to know the student, build a relationship with them on her own time,
Wow.
and making sure that supports were in place and they looked similar. So the student's schedule looked similar to what he was doing at ABA. That he has been with us full days and doing wonderfully this year.
Nice.
It's a huge celebration.
Props to that teacher.
Yeah, we have a lot of those gems throughout our district. It's incredible. I think that really speaks to the culture of the whole community in the district. So
And is that?
it gave me goosebumps thinking about all those things.
Right?
Is that child elementary or?
Elementary.
Okay.
Wow.
So then on the right-hand side, you can see just other services that we have going on for students. I think those are important just to know how many things are being done, just so that students are ready for their learning environment. We have about 3 students who are receiving McKinney-Vento services of different kinds, so they have unstable housing. We have more students who are eligible, but those are the students that are really receiving some unique services. We have 49 students who are being supported by the Willow Center, so that's our mental health partnership. They're receiving counseling at school, which is great because it doesn't take them out of their learning environment. We have about 100 students with 504 plans. So you have all those IEP numbers and then also the 504 plans providing accommodations to students as they need them. We have 289 students with IEPs in the district, and that is 15.5% of our total students. And I share that with you because that's one of the compliance indicators that's monitored, is what percentage of our students have IEPs. The Indiana state average is 15.7, so we're right there, pretty average. The nation average is 13. So Indiana's a little bit high. So it's something that we always want to keep monitoring, and being at 15.7, we're really close to that. So one of the things that we're really doing this year is working on our RTI process, or our intervention process, and how we're supporting students maybe before we look at them needing an IEP. All right, Mr. Hoball, will you go to the next slide? Thank you. So this, I just want to talk a little bit about some of the staff development and resources that are available in this department, and things that we've been working on this year. So this year, Mr. Hoball really wanted to make sure that we gave all of our teachers support for helping students having positive behavior in the classroom and being ready for learning. So that's something that we're doing for professional development for all elementary teachers. We've been doing IA and paraprofessional trainings as well, and doing that on some of those early release days. We're doing department meetings this year quarterly, and our staff are loving that, because sometimes when you are working in special education, you might be isolated. You're maybe the only speech pathologist, for example, in your building. And so this is an opportunity for everyone to come together and learn together. So that's one of those pictures there, is all of our staff learning together. There was a snapshot, but it's not showing on the screen, sorry, of our monthly newsletter. And I just share that because I really wanted to share that we're trying to support celebrating staff every month. So principals and other staff members are kind of giving shout outs to each other, and then we're sharing that out in the monthly newsletter.
In your SPED, in your
Yes.
special education newsletter.
Mhm.
Those are just- Okay, got it.
And then looking at resources, certainly we always want to be trying to find as many resources for our students as we can be. So we're expanding our Medicaid billing this year. We also are pursuing SEEK funding, additional funding from the state for some of our students having really unique needs. And then we're starting after fall break having a new behavior support team. So we know that behaviors are changing and increasing, and that's something we hear a lot from teachers. We want to make sure they have resources and people they can lean on. So Leanne Sinclair is in that picture with the Tri-West cheerleading jacket.
Well, I looked at them because she's in her class. So
Uh-huh.
yes.
So Leanne will be leading our behavior support team, and part of the reason I put her picture on there and some of the other pictures on that screen is because I think it's so cool how many people want to come back and work in our schools that come from schools, right? She graduated from Tri-West and wants to come back and support the community. Maddie Folks.
Is leading
Yeah.
your behavior support team.
Mm-hmm. So she's a BCBA, a board certified behavior analyst, and then she will have 2 RBTs that she'll help provide supervision for, and they'll work throughout our schools.
Quick question, is that the same position that we posted? Is that position, remember?
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah, so we
I
have
wanna
2
make sure
people who
those-
are doing a job share of that one.
got it, okay. Thank you for clarifying that.
Okay, so this is where some of those job training opportunities are. So something that, in working with our CPAC group, our CPAC is the Parent Advisory Committee, they wanted to really focus on increasing job opportunities and training for our students. And so that's something that we'll continue to work on this year. I just wanted to highlight some of the things that are already being done. So all the way over on the left, you can see this little girl. It's hard to see in there, but she has a 3-drawer system. That's a system that we often teach students who need help with executive functioning and organization and work completion. And part of the reason we do that, and we use a consistent system throughout the whole school district, is so that we can start providing a structure for students who need to then do work tasks. So that's kind of that's the little itty bitty start, right, of some of the work training that we do. You can see an elementary school student washing dishes there. That seems to be a hot job. They all love to wash the dishes. You know,
Come
we all
over.
say we
Come
can
over.
find other places for you to wash dishes, right?
Yeah. Come on over.
Yeah, I think it might have something to do with playing in the water, you know. But
Well, yeah, side note.
that's okay.
Yeah.
And then you can see in the middle there, our high school students they've had a coffee cart kind of cafe going. They're trying to expand some of their offerings. Apparently, if you don't know this, pickles are a big hit at the high school.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
Okay. This is
right.
a trend, so
Did they do the
I live
frozen
under a
pickles?
rock, so I don't know. Yeah, so they made these pickles that they're selling to students.
And I bet they're flying off the shelf. I mean, I bet.
So if you need some pickles, there you go. You know where to find them.
I know where to go.
But they're also working on expanding that, and I'm sorry Beth couldn't be here this evening because I really wanted to give her a shout out for nutrition services. They have been amazing partnering with us for some of these job opportunities. So we have a
Great.
student who's working in the cafeteria at Pittsboro Elementary this year. They are starting to partner to make muffins for the high school in the classroom. So we're really trying to think about what are the jobs that some students can do in the classroom versus some jobs that maybe require a little bit more independence and that students can do outside of the classroom. So this snack cart has also traveled down to middle school. So the SLP, Samantha Gates at middle school, has started a snack cart at middle school to help the students start to get a little more prepared for high school when they're going to be doing the coffee bar. And the coffee bar is expanding. So after fall break, they're going to be actually selling coffee at coffee time in the morning for students before school. And so there'll be students in the classroom kind of baking muffins and preparing recipes, and then other students who will come in early to school and help really be employed by the Nutrition Services Department to make coffees. In the morning.
Question, and when you're doing, what are they doing with their profits?
So right now, the coffee cart that they have is more or less self-sustaining.
Got it.
There's not a lot of profit, but when they have had profit in the past, my understanding is they've used them for field trips. Do you have any other?
Perfect,
No, that's,
perfect.
or other supplies that they may have
Sure.
needed
Mhm.
that we haven't known covered.
That's what, we
Yeah.
have a coffee shop too,
Mhm.
with our life skills department, and that's exactly what they do. Field trips and stuff.
Yeah. We've decided as a district that we want to look at some other options for crisis prevention and de-escalation. So we have a committee we're putting together, including some of our CPAC parents, to do that. Our CPAC group really wants to do a community event this year, so those plans are in the works for March. We're gonna bring in InSource to work with our parents just on positive collaborations. We have some staff involved in that as well. And then we've been hearing some things about really wanting to expand and think about how we engage our early childhood families and students and getting a hold of them earlier. We think there are more kiddos out there that we can get a hold of a little bit earlier and start bringing into our schools. And so that's something that some of the elementary buildings want to work on over the next year as well.
Love that.
We
So
go
this
to the next slide.
I'm sorry, this
Yeah, no.
coffee bar, like what all is like, what do they make? I mean, is it like, do they have special drinks that they make, or is it just literally coffee, creamer, that's it? Like, what's the whole bar look like?
Yeah, so they have been working on developing recipes that are sugar-free and meet the guidelines for safe and healthy snacks. And so they are developing, I think what they're planning to do is one specialty coffee drink at a time. So you could get just regular coffee, or you could get this one specialty drink that the students have learned how to prepare, and they'll rotate through their recipes. They've been compiling recipes to do that.
Good.
And then they'll have 2 different kinds of muffins that they're gonna work on.
Who leads
making.
it?
So Beth with Nutrition Services is actually taking the lead. It was her grand idea, and everyone jumped on board. And so
love
I told her I didn't want to steal her thunder, but she wanted to celebrate that the students were starting to do it after fall break. So it was good timing. So she'll, I'm sure, share more about it when she gets
I
some
love
time
that
with you.
there is the
Okay.
cross collaboration.
Yeah.
With 2 different, that's
Yeah.
special.
So there are just some pictures here of different things that have been happening this year, and our students, I love how often they're doing field trips and really trying to apply their learning out in the community. But do you have any other questions for me? Anything else you want to know?
I wanna know a lot of things, but I gotta go.
Well, joy.
Thank you.
I loved all the pictures. It's really
I know,
Yeah.
I love that. This makes me so happy.
Especially at the bottom left. That's cute.
So I love this work-based learning, and so we were at the ISBA conference, and I was in this one presentation that Owen Valley, they started a screen printing business with their students, and now it's all 7 periods, and it's, I mean, they make over $100,000 a year doing this. And I mean, they just had a big order from Boston Scientific, and so it's teaching the kids, like, you know, financials, it's teaching them management skills, and then plus they're all learning how to use a screen printer and embroidery and all these different things they offer, plus they have a sales team, and it just,
Very cool.
and to hear them give up, or stand up and give a presentation, it was amazing, and it all started with a grant, and so I just didn't know if there were also maybe some grants available for these kiddos, if they even wanted to go a little bit bigger, if they needed just some financial
Yeah.
help or something. I don't know, I've not searched what's out there, but
That's great.
This is
I'll certainly
amazing.
look into that. One of the other things that we're looking for grants is developmental preschool playground types of items. So sensory items and things
Mhm.
that we can add to the playground. That's something that the DPK team is really passionate about. So I think those are great grant opportunities if we can find those. One of the
Yeah.
things with work-based skills that we've talked a lot about is what are some of those work-based skills for students who aren't necessarily in our essential skills classroom, but need a higher level of support than maybe typical classroom pathways would be? And so are there some other opportunities? So I think that, that might be a really good fit for some of our
Yes.
students who have
yes, it would be, yeah.
really grade level academic skills, but need
Mhm.
some support in other ways.
Mhm.
Our CPAC group also is really passionate about creating social experiences for our students, especially who, some students who maybe have hidden disabilities, that it's not as a parent, but then when we start doing things socially, they need a lot of support. And so how can one of the things that they're thinking about doing is trying to start a game club, for example, that students could get together and learn how to play some games that then they would play with their peers. So more to come. I think a lot of
Yeah.
exciting things to come.
Yeah, absolutely. This is great. Thank you for
Very
sharing.
good, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Mitchell. Next, on superintendent report is just our enrollment. If I can get back into the agenda. Perfect. So enrollment day was October 1st, and we officially clocked in at 1861, down from 1894, so we're down 33 kids. One of the biggest differentials on that is the fact that we graduated about 150 and we got 120 kindergartners. So that's a huge difference, which matches up with what all the trends are saying right now, that it's just population is down in Indiana at those grade levels. So that's the world we're living in, and we're not the only ones. A lot of people are. So if you're increasing in population, essentially you're either building houses or getting more transfer kids at this point. They also said that this decrease, the demographers said it should kind of level out. And we should hopefully next year either maybe rise or steady. But one benefit next year is we only have like 120 kids in this graduating class.
Okay.
So it's a very small class.
Mhm.
Therefore, if we can get to 120, which is where we're at this year, we should at least stay steady.
So I think we've asked this before and you've answered it probably, but do we keep track, or is it possible to keep track of like how many students that we had enrolled that we've lost and to what we've lost them to?
The state does report a thing every year on how many that were here and lost, not necessarily that we can figure out exactly where kids that live in the district go now.
You can't?
You can.
Oh, you
The
can't,
state
okay.
will release that eventually on
Okay.
where those kids have gone.
Is that like, that information really lagging behind by the time?
It'll be for this year, but
Oh,
usually we don't
okay.
get it until, I'm trying to remember if that's later this fall or even in the spring.
Okay.
You said a lot were going to the online.
We've lost quite a few to the Athens Academy this year, yes.
Athens
Going to
Academy.
online, it's the online school. Kind of a product of Crawfordsville is what I was told.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Is that it?
And that's it for that.
Okay. So I'm closing this meeting?
Yep.
Do I have to get like a motion?
No.
Okay. And then we are going to open our 2026 capital project plan and bus replacement plan hearing.
So per law, every year, we have to have a hearing on the capital projects and bus replacement plan. It's the same two plans I presented last month, because I always like to at least put them out there a little early so people can see things. But by law, we gotta run through it again. And on the capital projects, we try to come up with the things that we feel like, essentially, these are all things that would have to be paid through operations and not necessarily in a bond. So we try to hit all those things we might possibly come up with, and there's two pieces to it. One's just an actual asset, and then the second page, there we go, now we're moving, are theoretical projects. I kind of view this as our dream list. If we could run into something or something happens, that we could be able to have the money to be able to form some of these projects. But this is kind of the list, and I want you to plan out for about 3 years, and so these are kind of things we've every year we kind of have some of them on the list that we continue to hope that maybe we'll be able to fund some of these, but they're not emergency needs necessarily at this point, but just improvements, and eventually some of these are gonna have to happen. Does anybody have any questions?
Okay, so
And then I'll get to the bus replacement one too.
oh,
This year, it's way more, as I said last month, it's way more thrilling, because we actually have buses. So, the list got longer, because before we hit 4,
yeah.
and some of them were actually eligible. Oddly enough, the bus that's eligible to replace is probably the best minibus we have. It's one I got to drive all the time, I enjoyed that bus a lot. Then the others, on there, in terms of the minibuses, the top 4 of the 4 minibuses, the school corporation has owned. And then all the bottom ones turn into the yellow buses, and then the 4 white activity buses, and then the other little white buses. The only ones that are actually technically eligible to be replaced at this point are 2 little yellow buses that we bought from Edwards, which actually run just fine, and then like 2 of our little white minibuses from the school. So that's where we're at this point. Not looking to necessarily replace anything, but we have the option, if we need to, we can.
Any questions? Okay, so then public comments concerning the 2026 capital projects and bus replacement plan. Nothing, okay. So then we need to approve the resolution for adopting 2026 capital projects plan. Can we get a motion?
Yes.
One from JD.
Second.
Second from Brad. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Okay, that motion passes. And then I will make a motion to approve the resolution of adopting 2026 bus replacement plan.
And I'll second that.
Second from Emily. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. That passes. And now we will close the 2025 capital project plan and bus replacement plan hearing and open the regular board meeting.
Wow. Looks like we're at the end of it.
Almost.
No, there's some action items down the road.
Yeah, there is
Oh.
quite a few. That's down there, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So first, we have our consent agenda. So we have meeting minutes from our work session on September 9th and our regular session on September 9th. Payment of claims. We have the fund report, payroll report. For donations and sponsorships, we have an anonymous donation of $1,000 to go towards teachers' pay. And then received a $1,000 donation to go towards student needs at North Salem. And we don't know who that was. That anonymous as well?
Yep.
Okay. So anonymous as well. And we have our personnel report and our student transfer request. Any comments or question on the consent agenda? No. Okay, can we get a motion?
Yes.
Motion from JD,
I'll second.
second from Emily. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Consent agenda passes. And next, we have our action items here. Approval of tax anticipation warrant resolution for 2026 budget. Mr. Hoball.
So these are all fairly standard, what we've done lately. The first one here on the approval of tax anticipation warrant resolution is essentially approving the concept that we can apply taxing the public for the interest payments if we have to take out an emergency loan. I'm still not sure what will happen to us necessarily based on what they may decide next year. So I'm just asking for the ability that we could levy that tax in case we have to take out that loan.
Any comments, questions? Okay, I will make a motion to approve the approval of the tax anticipation warrant resolution for 2026 budget.
Second.
Second from JD. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. So then we have approval of resolution for appropriation and tax rates for 2026.
So this is basically the approval of the budget. As presented last month, I heard nobody came to me with anything, so we left it in place. And as I say, every year, I feel like we're just approving this until the DLGF gets a hold of it and they can adjust everything to where they say it needs to be. And then we can further come in and adjust the tax rate lower, can't go higher, but you can go lower in terms and see what that tax rate looks like. Our AB came in probably about a week after we had the last board meeting, and we went up 0.46% this year. Lowest raise of anybody around. Everybody else went up way more than us.
Yep.
But it's basically a product of the fact that we have very, very little business out here. It's just, we just don't have much. And Steel Dynamics this year, with the way things work for them, got huge tax breaks. So we didn't see really any increase. So just being honest, with taking out the bonds for the buses, the tax rate's gonna go up this year. Right now, it looks like it's a one-year deal if we don't take out much more in terms of bonds next year, and I don't plan to. But, and hopefully we can bring that rate back down, but we're now in the game where it's gonna be almost year to year, trying to figure out what the tax rate looks like. And the old days of like trying to keep your tax rate steady, so you knew what you're gonna be paying at home or out the window. They changed the game on us, and we won't be able to do that anymore. So my goal, and I think you guys agree, is to try to continue, drop it as much as possible. When we have to do something for the school, we'll look at possibly having to raise a little bit to see, but we'll try to plan that out in advance so we don't have a major swing back and forth.
Okay. So we need a motion for approval of the resolution for appropriation and tax rates for 2026.
I make a motion.
From Brad. I'll
Second.
Second from JD. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. And next is the 2026 appropriation adjustment resolution.
So this, we ask the board to allow myself or Chrissy to be able to make changes. So when DLGF comes back and tells us, this is what you have to do, I sometimes have to go in and change how much I've appropriated for things and basically reduce all those things so we can meet the tax rates we want to meet. And I just need the board's approval to be able to go in and do that. This would give me the ability to make those changes when they come back.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
First from Emily, second from JD. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Next, we have the 2025 appropriation adjustment resolution.
Which sounds crazy, but at the same time, sometimes we have to go back in and change our appropriations for this year so we can hit the goal we have to hit 26. And so essentially, this gives us the ability to change those numbers, and we're always lowering things that we would spend less.
Right.
Because it's always kind of like a max amount of what you're gonna spend is what we get a permission for, and then we reduce that.
Mm-hmm.
And so just asking the board so that I can, or Chrissy can, go back in and change those numbers and reduce those if we have to make sure we meet all the legal things.
A motion?
Sure.
First from JD,
Second.
second from Brad. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. And then we have our 5-star contract for 25-26.
So it's the time of year when we look at the contract for 5-star. They're asking to basically wrap this back around, so it would be November, December, and then all of 26. Just so we can start getting on like a January, and we're not coming here like in the middle of the end of the year type of deal. I said that's fine with me. There's minimal increase this year. They're basically doing it for the same amount. And just looking to sign on again for another year with them as we continue to examine what everything looks like. Because it's on my radar again to look at stuff, but at this point, I don't have the capacity to pull the trigger on that quick.
Right.
Any discussion on it? Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the 5-star contract for 25-26.
Second.
Second from Brad. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Okay, do we have any discussion items? Anybody? Okay, our calendar items, we have fall break coming up October 13th through the 17th. And then our next board meeting is November 11th at 6:30, right here. Okay.
Move
the
for
motion-
adjournment.
Yes. We adjourn.
Cool. That was
Then,
quick.
yeah, that was quick.